Okay, so we're filming this in, heck am I? Cincinnati, North Cincinnati. I don't know, Blue Ash, Weissnish, Montgomery. I don't know, it's a town out of Cincinnati. I'm not sure. I have time tomorrow, going to fancy Suffern tomorrow. Not sure if I'll have time, but so here we are in Cincinnati. So this week's Parsha, Shelach. This is one of the turning points in Jewish history. And the famous question is, spies or no spies? Because Shelach Lecha, send for you, and then we say that Hashem told Moshe to do it. So did Hashem say to do it? Was it Moshe's initiative? Yes, no. So Mepharshim really talk about this, that it was really for the people. They shouldn't have wanted it. Now that they wanted it, Hashem says, do it. Blech Techila shouldn't have been sent. Hashem says, they don't need it, but if they do it, Rashi says, be careful, it's not going to go well, because Hashem is Bechira. You know, you want something, you do it. And you got to live with the consequences. If you want something, you have to decide for yourself. So Marv Shemesh has a really pretty unique chiddush that Shlach Hanashim, we know that means two. Hanashim is two. You know, a lot of times in the Gemara it talks about the minimum, tfasta meruba, tfasta lo tfasta, that the minimum of plural is two. So really, it's not a stira. Really, it was just supposed to be two. Ish achad, l'matei avosav. They're matos. Just two. Kalev Yeshua. Hashem just wanted two meraglim, and that's it. That's all that's needed. We see in a few months from now, we'll see that it's also two meraglim. So you only needed two. But when the people heard that there's messengers and spies being sent, they just gathered, they jumbled onto Moshe. We want. And long story short, it was one for every shevet. And this was the downfall. This is really the downfall. You don't trust Kalev, the great Kalev, Nasi of Yehuda, the greatest shevet. You don't trust Kalev, the husband of Miriam, brother-in-law of Moshe Rabbeinu, and you don't trust Yeshua. Not only was he the future leader and great in his own right, but he was a warrior. He goes to battle against Amalek. So any side, you have a problem, it's a lack of emunah. It's not a them, it's a you problem. You know, two other dudes, you know what, I don't trust these guys. Let me send someone from my shevet, Ruvain, because we need someone we can trust. We're Shimon. We need a leader from Shimon. If you don't trust the word of Kalev and Yeshua, you got an emunah problem. Then you got a problem with God. That's a problem. You got a big problem here. And that's the situation here. The Marv Shemesh says, Ish achad, two. You wanted to add your own shevet? That's on you. Let's see what goes on from there. And that's kind of really what answers this stira, that Hashem did say to send two. And it was Moshe's initiative that when they pressured Moshe, okay, each one gets their own nasi. And we see what happens. Bad things happen. Now, what's interesting is that the Al Rebbe has in the Vaser Tov has an interesting idea when it talks about what the Meraglim did. And it's one thing that the Meraglim did to the Jewish people is add the idea of Yeush, giving up. That's something that we don't see that. Abram jumps into the fire. You know, the Avos don't give up. In Mitzrayim, Moshe, bad things are happening. Paro throws him out of the palace. The Jews aren't listening to him. No giving up. He has to leave Mitzrayim. No giving up. There's no Yush. Sons of Aaron doesn't stop. Moves ahead. The Jewish people moved ahead. Kriyas Yamsuf, Amalek, problems, always moving ahead. There's no giving up. There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying. Here, they're crying, they're freaking out. And the one idea that the Vaser Tov says is this: it introduced Yush to the Jewish people. There was no concept of giving up until this point. And this is something that we feel, unfortunately, nowadays. And he says, we can fix this. As I was reading this, it just really hit home as I'm driving down to a wedding this past week in Baltimore, as the milchama's going on with Iran, and all these horrible things are taking place. There's no giving up, and this is a way to be talking is, especially the ikvah de Meshisa. Mashiach's coming. This is we're on the heels. This is literally days, months. This is literally end of Mashiach days. And this is a way to be talking it. Maybe this is what's holding us back. Maybe it's holding us back all these years is this yush. And every generation, especially our generation, is maybe talking this yush that we have. Sometimes we don't get up in the morning. Sometimes you turn on the internet, J-Post or Times of Israel or something, and terrible things are happening in Gaza and UN and the hospital and people being killed. All these places, it's just horrible. What's going on? But we're not giving up. You see that video with the dude on the piano. Yoter Tov is playing piano. His house is smashed around him. Not giving up. Maybe this is the strength that some of the Israelis have. That no matter what's taking place, we're not give up. There's no yish. There's no giving up. There's no crying. We know Hashem has an idea, has a purpose for us, and we're going to move ahead. And there's no giving up. Shabbat shalom.